Too many dreams, books, millionaires, ideas, skills, unfinished accomplishments are in the grave. Take a moment and think, what am I doing between the dash? You have to move right now because tomorrow is not promised. Join the Divine Connections movement in a couple of ways. 1, download the app for free. 2, subscribe to Divine Connections magazine. 3, if you have a book, a product, a service, gospel music, business, health and wellness product, church, or anything creative, join the Divine Connections movement VIP and make a commitment to join a network that supports others, give you major exposure, customer retention, and customer engagement. To find out more about VIP, text 336-338-8903 or email divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com.
Divine Connection Marketing is a 500 Fortune company that can always connect you to the right connection. Check them out.
Businesses all across the planet are looking to make connections with people. Well, guess what? Divine Connections magazine is helping businesses not only walk in their purpose and passions, but to get connected to their potential. That's right. You've got to connect to your potential, and you can make it happen now because it is time to know your worth. As you get connected to people all across the planet, Divine Connections magazine will make it happen. And get featured in the magazine today and get your copy now, because there's no other time than a divine time to get connected to Divine Connections magazine.
Well, great day, and welcome to Divine Connections Show and Podcast. We are excited that we are in a new season, so happy new season to you. Divine Connection is a magazine that comes out quarterly in print as well as online. It's faith-based and inspirational. We connect with different businesses, entrepreneurs, gospel artists, praise dance, mimes, vendors, pastors, entrepreneurs, authors, anyone that's doing something great in the community. We also do 2 events a year where we bring in gospel groups, praise dance, mimes, vendors, speakers to network and worship together. And to mark your calendar for Saturday, March 25th, which is going to be my 13th magazine anniversary. We're going to have quartet groups, we're going to have mimes, but one great thing about it, we're going to have a men's panel talking about mental health, life challenges, and different things like that. So I'm so excited about that. Make sure you get your tickets. They're only $10. It's going to be in the Mebane, North Carolina, and Beyond Measure Ministries. And so I'm so excited for that. And there's also sponsorship available. So even if you're not here, that you can support this endeavor. And then also on Wednesdays, between the hours of 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., we connect with authors, pastors, anyone that's doing something great in the community. And we share with you who they are and what they do and how you can connect with them. Last but not least, we are excited about our app. It's now out. So you can go to Divine Connections magazine and go to your Play Store or your iPhone store and then type in Divine Connections magazine and download our app. So I am definitely excited about what is going on and how God is allowing us to connect and make it happen. So I'm going to share with you just a little bit about October's event. I'll let you see a little video and then the March event as well. So hold tight. Awesome, awesome. So that's just a little clip of how we do our events in October. Now, here is a little snippet for March 25th. Awesome, awesome. So let me share with you just a little bit of the flyer. You will see that going around as well. So let me share a little bit who is going to be in the house on Saturday, March 25th in Mebane, North Carolina. All right, so it's my 13th magazine anniversary. We're going to have groups, which is the Power Boys, the Anointed Ones, Marvin Bobbitt and the Rising Stars, Terrell Brown and the Gospel Express. We're going to have Mom Ministries, Jared Terry, as well as Jerry Linsom. And then we're going to have our men's panel, Mr. David, Corey, EJ, James, Maurice, Marcus, Mr. Tyler, and James Allen is going to be in the building. And we're going to have awesome, awesome celebration, bringing men in to celebrate and have the men's panel and also networking. So you don't want to miss this opportunity. So you have, you can buy a ticket and or you can be a sponsor for this event. We have 4 different options for you as well, and we can go into detail about that. So if you want to support this effort, definitely we would love for you to be a sponsor, and if you're in the area, we would love for you to attend. Okay, all right, so I wanted to put that information out there so you can know what is going on next with Divine Connections. So how do you stay connected with Divine Connections? We have our website. Go to our website and join our email list, divineconnectionsmagazine.com. And it gives you updates and news of what's going on. We have our Facebook page, Divine Connections Marketing. We also have Instagram at Divine Connections and our YouTube channel at The Divine Connection. So make sure you subscribe and click the notification button as well. If you would like to advertise in the magazine, you have a business, you have a gospel group, an event, make sure you text or email me and we'll see how we can connect with you. And advertisements is half page and full page options, and your ad or your information will run for 3 months. Okay. Awesome. If you have not received your copy of Divine Connections magazine, it is here. You can connect it. You can give a full page, a half page opportunity as well. Just let us know what you would like to do. Okay. And if you want to be in the next one, we would love for you to be in the next one as well. Now we have sponsorship on the show. If you have a 30-second commercial and you would like to know more about Divine Connections, or you like your 30-second commercial on this show, you can be on before or after our interviews, and it will run for 3 months. So the more people see you, the more people know who you are and what you do. We have a 3-month agreement for only $150. So if you have a 30-second commercial, let us know. Okay. Awesome. And if you need a 30-second or 60-second commercial for your business, your ministry, your book, or your gospel group, or your event, we create 30-second and 60-second commercials as well. So if you need a customized video, 30-second or 60-second, let us know. Okay. Next, we have our book is out. The Key Connector, How to Build an Empire Helping People. And I talk about how I accomplish things with the help of the Lord in my personal life as well as in my business. So if you need a copy of that, contact me or go to Amazon or go to the link. And if you contact me, I'll give you a signed copy as well. And this is a perfect time for our next thing, which we have our journal is available. bit.ly Divine Connections Journal, Making It Happen. Write down your vision, make it plain, execute and celebrate. That is what we're doing this year, making it happen. And you are a Divine Connection. So we have that available. And next to the last thing I want to share with you is our store is now available. You go to bit.ly/Divine Connection store. So let me share a little bit so you can see what is in our store as well. There we are. All right. So once you go to our store, you will see some of these products that you can order. We have jackets, we have vests, we have hats, we have blankets, we have a variety of different things that you can go to. And then once you go to a shop all, you will get to see all of our product as well. We have 106 products in here as well. So definitely go check it out. Some awesome things are coming up. We have different color hoodies and shirts and hats and all of that. So definitely make sure that you stay connected, order products, and they're great gifts for you as well as others as well. Okay. So we definitely want to share that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And don't forget the last thing again is our app is now available. You can go to your Play Store and put in Divine Connections Magazine and download our app and stay connected. Okay, awesome. So let me do the good part and the greatest part of this interview podcast. Mr. Daulton Anderson is in the house, so we look forward to connecting with him. So let us bring him on in. Awesome, awesome. Great day, great day. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely marvelous, Deloris. It's wonderful to be your guest here on Divine Connections.
Absolutely. I'm glad to have you. I met you at a Gen event as no, I met you I think it was in Florida at the Rhythm of Gospel event. I believe that was. Yes, yes, doing great. Yes.
Yeah, matter of fact, I received I think I had received an award.
Yes.
And I was still surprised. Everything surprises me when I get any type of acclamation or any type of recognition. As I humbly accept. Yeah, and that's just what it is. It's always a humbling acceptance at all times.
Absolutely, absolutely. That means you're doing great things in the community, and people are seeing it, and they want to recognize and celebrate and give you honor to do that. So we're definitely grateful for that. So for some people that may not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
My name is Daulton Anderson. I've been part of the music industry close to 30 years. April will be 30 years. Yeah. I'm from London, England. And when I first started out, I was a DJ in one of the top clubs here in New York City for about almost 11, 12 years. And in 1992, I kind of got a calling. I didn't really get a calling, but I went to a radio station to do what I normally do because I was very well paid here in New York. And somehow God moved in and made me say that I like to air gospel music. And the only thing was that I've never really been part of anything was gospel. So I had to really, I don't know, I made an agreement with God. I don't know how it happened, or who spoke, who made the commitment, but I told him I said I would just give him 3 months.
Okay.
I would just give him 3 months back then in 97. I started April of 97. I told him I'd give him 3 months. And because I don't know, when I had said it, the general manager, I'm not making this story too long, but he had said, that was great, Daulton, because we don't have really anybody that is doing gospel music here. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna be your co-host, the general manager. Imagine that. The general manager can be your co-host. And I kept on saying, well, why would I say to do gospel music? And I don't know anybody in gospel music. Nobody. I'd even own, back then it was cassettes. I'd even own a cassette, more or less a record or anything. And so I had to go to the store, and I make it short. I went to the store, and I came out of the store with the Dixie Hummingbirds greatest hits on cassette. I bought a double album, Rough Side of the Mountain LP, Rough Side, and bought a CD, The Best of Shirley Caesar.
Okay.
Back then, and I went on the air with those 3 items, and I did a 2-hour show.
Wow.
And my general manager said, this was so great and enlightening. You know what? I think I'm going to come back again next Sunday. And I'm going to be. So I had to literally go to the store. By the way, I was still in the clubs. I was still a club DJ. Because they were, and I figured, well, after God and I had a conversation, I just basically told him I'll just do it for 3 months, and then I'll do what I've been called to do. And I
Mm-hmm.
was doing gospel music, and now it's 30 years later. I've never gone back. I've never stepped out. So I've been very fortunate
Yeah.
um, to do what I'm doing for such a long time. I've programmed New York's first gospel radio station,
Mm.
24/7. I actually programmed that. I was contacted by a gentleman that worked for Inner City Broadcasting Company, and that was WBLS.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they were purchasing a radio station, and they needed somebody, a consultant, that had a knowledge of gospel music and programming. And so I did for the next 4 months that they hired me. I programmed, I contacted on-air talent. I did processed all the commercials, radio drops, liners. I gave them a library music of about 5,000 music. The first time ever
Mm-hmm.
in programming, I programmed quartet music. Quartet music was never programmed on radio. This was in 2000. In 2000, when did I go? 2005.
Mm-hmm.
2000. It took me it took over 5 months before we launched. We launched it September of 2000. Yeah, 2005. We launched it, but we didn't have any on-air talent. It was just music.
Mm-hmm.
We prepared that, and then I had to screen. So I brought people like Pastor Donna McClurkin,
Mm.
Bishop Hezekiah Walker, Reverend Timothy Wright, Dr. Bobby Jones. Who else? Who else am I? I'm missing somebody. I'm missing some people, but I organized it, put it all together, and then the following year we went in 2006. We went straight ahead. I did not have a gospel program at that time. I was
Mm-hmm.
actually on the urban station
Okay.
doing gospel. Was actually on the gospel station doing gospel. So that was a change. So I've been very fortunate being here in New York City, and been afforded some of the great opportunities to meet some of the top executive
Mm.
labor heads here, etc. And just being a part of the inner circle. I don't say a lot. I'm saying a lot to you now because I've been interviewed, but
Mm-hmm.
my mother says sometimes you have to be a little quiet so you can hear,
That's right.
and then
That's
once you can hear, hopefully we understand,
right.
and then
Mm-hmm.
whatever you say afterwards, hopefully you'll be knowledgeable. So in that aspect, this is who I am, and some people have been dancing back and forth from the time I got into gospel music. I've never left.
Mm.
I've been fortunate to go across the country and the world doing this ministry. I'm very, very blessed.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. So, what throughout your travel and experience with the gospel, what are two things that stood out to you that were really big and you will never forget?
Um, I've been to Kansas and Ohio to organize the kind of a convention or conference highlighting gospel music in a sense. They never really had done that before. And
Mm-hmm.
then I got an opportunity to go to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked me, and I did that for 3 years in a row. I did that from 2010, 11, and 12. They had never had that type of they didn't have that kind of recognition. They had small radio stations. It was pretty much playing Spanish music per
Mm-hmm.
se. And when I came, it kind of opened up the floodgates in a
Yeah.
sense. And I was able to organize, bring in radio talent. I was able to bring in clinicians for the conference, etc. Able to contact artists who wanted to come to Arizona and spread the word of gospel
Mm-hmm.
in music. And the conference itself, so many artists were born from that conference, and I think that's just one of many conferences. But that was fertile soil that nobody had ever thought about going to, and I was very fortunate to be in the right place at the right time. I was contacted, asked if I could do something like this,
Mm-hmm.
and I told them I would do it for nothing.
Mm.
And I did it for nothing. But then the following year, they really wanted to pay me.
Oh,
And so,
awesome.
they paid me, and they paid me the year after. But the first year, I did it for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I paid my own way there and everything because this ministry, I'll tell anybody, not most of the time I don't get paid in this ministry. I don't, because that's how I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't turn on a blessing. Somebody wants to bless you, as well. But throughout this 30 years, if I can tell you that this is a kind of an engineering of money opportunity and streams of finance. If it is, I have not opened up those streams. It's never been that way. Most of the time I'm broke. I'm broke, but God always seems to make a way for me. And never at any time, cuss the business that I'm in, or upset about it, or getting into arguments with people about it. I would be the last person to down, because this ministry has been too good to me, and I've a lot of. See, I'm a secular artist guy. I have libraries of that music. And I always pray to God. I said, Lord, I can't play the secular artists anymore. And now all of them are coming over to me now. I'm speaking to people like Gladys Knight, Reverend Al Green. I could run down. I could run down some names of people who contacted me. Even Luther Vandross, before he had passed away, and I always used to talk to Luther. Say, Luther, you're from the South. You're from South Carolina.
Yeah.
We need a gospel song or something. We never did get an inspirational song from Luther, but it was always in there. But it was up and down with a lot of, he had this weight issue. There was a lot of, kind of life situations going on. Yeah. And I suppose he was on the top of his game. And some of us, he says, I got to do it. I said, listen, if Candy Staten can sneak in Precious Lord on an LP, LP back then, Luther, you can sneak in one somewhere. But that was the kind of relationship that I've had. Yeah. I've had one of a kind singles from secular artists that really want to sing inspirational music, but their lifestyles is not conducive to that, because either the homes they own, people who have to pay. Gospel music doesn't really pay them to be where they are. So, but I get those caveats now and then.
I love that. I love that you gave God 3 months. I'm gonna do it 3 months, then I'm going back, and then you never turn back. I love that.
That day, after I had committed myself to do the show, and I spoke to the general manager on the Friday. He said, "You know what? I'm going to start you off Sunday." I said, "What? Sunday? No, I don't. In my mind, what am I doing? I am a liar. I'm a liar. I don't have no music. I don't have it. I don't even. I couldn't tell you Reverend James Cleveland from anybody. And oh, by the way, one of the songs on it was Reverend James Cleveland, Peace Be Still."
Okay.
But I do want to say this in all fairness. There was a show here in New Jersey, and it was called Gospel After Midnight, and it was by a gentleman called Herman Amos. It's passed away some years ago. But when I used to come out, when I came home from the clubs on Saturday, tired and worn out, I always used to listen to Herman Amos on Sunday night at 12 o'clock midnight. And I used to listen to gospel music. So when I used to, God was always preparing me, because I used to go to church. I used to see this pastor all the time, and he said, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm doing great, Pastor. I haven't seen you yet." I said, "You'll see me." So when I finally did go, I used to sleep every Sunday. I'm telling you, I used to sleep every Sunday. And then one Sunday I kind of woke up because the choir was singing so bad. I said, "Pastor, don't you realize that your choir is terrible?" You say, "Excuse me?" I said, "Yeah, your altos are not correct. Your sopranos, you got high sopranos, you got and I started to describe, and I said, "And your music is all wrong. Who's your musician?" And things like that. So God was preparing me, because what I used to do, I used to tape the gospel show, and what we would do was pick out songs that I felt somebody should be able to sing. I used to write a sheet, and I hooked up with the organist, and I used to bring the sheet music from and all the words I used to give. It was about 47 members in the choir, and I used to give everybody the song, and I
Mm-hmm.
should bring in the tape, and that's how God hooked me in or
Wow.
reeled me in because of the music. So I joined not for the word. Hello, somebody.
That's
I
right.
didn't join the church for the word. I
Mm-hmm.
joined the church for the music because I just love gospel. I love because I think I hung out. I used to be a DJ Friday night and Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
And I would sleep all Sunday, but because with the where I used to walk in the day, I always used to pass by the church, and that pastor used to be. I said, when is this man inside the church? So I can just walk past and have him not shout me out.
Mm-hmm.
And God was just preparing me. He was
Yeah.
just preparing me, and by that time, but as much as he was preparing me, I never purchased a gospel song.
Mm.
I would take from off the radio and bring it to the church, but I couldn't tell you who the real singers were in
Mm-hmm.
the sense. I don't know. Until one day, I remember Herman Amos telling me that Reverend James Cleveland, Peace Be Still, was
Mm-hmm.
like gospel's first million record seller. I said, that song? This guy is terrible. I said, not knowing who Reverend James Cleveland was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, this guy, that voice, and people like this guy. So I became a student. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, I went and I researched and started to get an idea of what the foundation, because I'm from England, since our singing is all church, Protestant singing,
Mm-hmm.
oh, 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 that type of thing. And so, and not understanding. So I had to become a student.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to study it. I started to study who these are, and I went back. Silver tones, hummingbirds, the Clara Ward singers, that kind of it,
Mm-hmm.
and caravans. So I just get to understand all of that first before
Yeah.
I could move forward. And then I attended the Gospel Music Workshop of America in 1996. I didn't have any money.
Mm.
Somebody gave me the plane ticket.
Mm.
They gave me I said, I can have the hotel. And somebody blessed me with a plane ticket and said, Daulton, if you're really going to do this ministry, you got to go to GMWA. And I said, okay, but I don't have any money. And she said, I will bless you with a plane ticket if
Mm.
you can pay your hotel. I didn't even have food. I didn't have sandwich money. I even had sandwich money. I went there like as green as you could be. I said, well, how am I going to eat when I get there,
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized a lot of these different areas had free food. So I would be in the women's ministry. You say, hey, how you doing? And I realized that they had this up a nice table spread. So I'll be taking the sandwiches and fruit back to my room, and that was my first experience of really meeting. That was there that I met back then was Kirk Franklin. I met him first. Ricky Dillard, young Ricky Dillard. I could all of the young stars. Most of them came out of the Gospel Music Workshop of America,
Mm-hmm.
and Williams brothers there, Doug, all of them. Melvin, I met all. I have pictures. I look back now and said, how young I used to be. How young I used to be. I said, oh, I had a full head of hair.
Uh-huh.
Now I have to. There's nothing much there, so I try to cut around and make it look like something. But I felt that once I made a commitment to God, I felt this wasn't something I could just jump in and jump out of. So I had contracts with some record labels that I had to fulfill. And these were secular artists. It would not let me out of those contracts. I used to make some of these great secular singers. I used to work like Arista Records and MCA Records and Columbia Records. I used to do a lot of work for them. So I couldn't get out those contracts. So technically, I was only doing studio work, but I wasn't out there really partying. I was just I had to fulfill the contract commitments, and so now I've been a lot of people may have heard of me only now, Deloris, but I've been independent artist most of my life, except I never really put a face to it. I never let them see a face. But a lot of them been in New York for years. Some of them actually came up to me and really have said, Daulton, because of you or just your name, or that we was able to that you put us on your playlist. It went across the country, so it was like as if, well, I have to have people have to trust me.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what I do. I'm falling out with a lot of people, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of artists or even public relations people. I felt to not being fair about how they do their work. I'm sorry, no, Doris, I'll call you out in a minute.
I love
I'm going to call you out in a minute because this side of the business is very, very tough,
it. Yeah.
hard to navigate. You know, you have to know what you're doing. A lot of the independent artists that is here don't really know. They're just glad to sing. They
Mm-hmm.
want to minister. They'll sing in parking lots. They'll sing in parking lots, that kind of a thing. And they'll go to bazaars and flea markets just to sing the word of God.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't sing. Hello, Dolores, I can't sing. I used to sing in the choir, but that voice has changed now. And I can't play an instrument. And I don't know. I can tell you keys and notes, and I can't play. I used to play the violin. That was my claim to fame, playing the violin. And because my mother would not allow me to play the piano because she felt that was the devil's music. And my mother's very was extremely strict, and she wanted me to be in the orchestra. And
Mm-hmm.
so I know more about the orchestra than anything else. But because of that, it gave me an ear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't care what anybody says, Dolores.
Mm-hmm.
My ear can tell you if you're going to make it or not.
Okay.
I don't care what anybody says, whatever. I can tell you what's wrong with your song, what needs to be done lyrically, spiritually, musically. I can tell you how it's supposed to be produced, and I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lot of people who are part of my family. See, I don't have artists.
Mm-hmm.
They're not Facebook, friends. I don't, they are family. I
That's.
always, when I'm talking about, it's like with yourself, Dolores, and
Mm-hmm.
you're in, I put down family member,
Mm-hmm.
CEO, Dolores Williams,
Yeah.
Divine Connection. You understand? Because for a lot of people, the radio may be the only family that will believe in their ministry or
That's
their calling. And if I always say, if you get to me, nothing that I'm anybody special. I'm going to tell you right now, if your ministry is not right, I don't know you. I'm sorry. I
right.
have nothing to play. When I was in my, when I was younger and doing my thing, I could bounce all that. No, I can't do that now because I feel like I'm cheating God. It's
Mm.
nothing. It's like even when I do my programming, and I don't slap or stick or cut and paste anything. It's all original programming. I respect the artists and their ministry, and I support them, and they know that. Now they may go other, sometimes, they'll take they have a new release and they'll go everywhere else with the release, and I'm at the back of the line,
Mm-hmm.
and they come to me, and I put it on like it's the first time anybody's ever hearing it, because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, when everybody else forgotten them, I don't,
That's right.
because the Lord's I have, and I'm saying it, I have to say, I have a technique about programming music.
Mm-hmm.
I programmed Christmas music this year. People had sent something to me 2 years ago, and they sent me instant message, said, Daulton, how come you're playing my song for
Mm-hmm.
Christmas? It's Christmas. Yeah, but I didn't send it to you. I know. I program concerning the seasons. Your
Mm-hmm.
music is in my library. You
Yeah.
don't have to call me and say, Dalton, can you play my song? You don't have to. I know what a programmer does.
Come on.
I've been very fortunate to
Mm-hmm.
sit with one of the top program directors here in New York. I sat with him for 3 years. This man has took control of 2 stations here in New York. It was BLS, and the other one was Kiss FM. He was the program director for both of them. Well, he left one and came to the other, but the one that he started out with stayed in number one for like 7-8 years. He
Yeah.
came to BLS for 10 years. His name is Vinnie Brown, and
Mm-hmm.
I won't say anything. I can only say I was able to sit with that guy for 3 years. It's not easy sitting with some of these individuals, but I actually sat with him and understood his technique. And all he said to me, if you could take this technique, if you understand it, and put it for gospel, there's no excuse for you, Mr. Anderson, when things don't go right. And he always said to me, if you get a mental block and you don't know how to program, then just program the hits. I was just program everybody who you know, and just program. Guarantee you'll get over that mental block, and you'll be able to bring in the kind of new music. There's a lot of, I could tell you a whole lot of little I always tell people when it comes to programming, we're not worried. We're not hit makers. Independent artists, we are not hit makers. Because of our field, we don't have the secular market. We don't have the secular connections out there. We don't have the big labels. Technically, it's up to us to kind of keep you out there. All right. Because at the end of the day, I always say at the end of the day, they're going to come back to me because I'm honest with them. And I tell them what's going on.
That's right.
Now, I can tell you now, Deloris, a few of them have cut me off because I was a little too blunt. Some people have to be told, listen, you cannot sing. I'm sorry, your singing and your production is not great, but you know what? You're a great writer. I can hear it.
Yeah.
You're a great writer. What you have to do is sign up for ASCAP as a songwriter and submit your song in to those companies and have them send it out for you. Somebody will pick it up. You get residuals as a writer.
Yeah.
Performing rights as a singer. You know, these I could go. You know,
I love it. Behind the scenes.
It's a lot. It's a lot that goes on. And program. It's just like how different parts of the country, it's different programming of music. You know, and sometimes I always try to let the independent artists know, just don't send me your song, and your song's not really a morning song. Fortunate for me, I have 4 shows here. I have 2 shows here in New York. I have a second show, as a matter of fact, here in New York. It's a little different because I'm doing something that most folks will be screaming at, but I'm doing it. I'm playing secular and sacred artists together. Secular, and I say secular artists who sing inspirational music. It's up to me now to look at discern. I mean, if the secular artists are out there, how can I say this very nicely, and not being, how can I say, not being totally straight about themselves, and maybe doing things that we as supposedly safe folk would not approve of. That I want to play their song. You know, I mean, I have to be careful on what over the air. So I've done something here because this is only New York. I can say I was checking out statistics. Around roughly about, and it's very high, surprisingly high. More than close to 67% of supposedly Christians go to secular concerts. They go to secular concerts. So, nothing wrong. I mean, if that's what if that's what you're doing, that is fine. But it's hard for us as gospel artists then when we put on our shows and have to wait. Our show starts at 5 o'clock, and then we're waiting for you with your ticket money. Up the doors, and it's the musicians, maybe the artist is there, and some close family and friends who came early. Now we're waiting for you. While you have already bought your tickets for and paid maybe $100, maybe $200, maybe $70 or $50 for a concert for a secular artist that's not coming for another 60 days, 120 days, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. But you bought the ticket already. But we gotta wait for you, showtime, concert day, to see prayerfully that we have somebody on that program. I just saw that you put your flyer up, and I'm praying that you have success. And from what I can see, because of who you are, I believe it's going to be successful for you. But then because of you're in the media, and so you have a great line of connecting to a lot of people that will come and support you. But when you start to deal with other parts of the country, It's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So in that aspect, I would say, Dolores, when it comes to programming, some songs that I get, fortunate for me, I have an afternoon show. I have Heaven's Joy, which is based out of Prassville, Alabama, as Pastor Sidney Barnett. He's a CEO there, and we were so blessed. And surprisingly, we received 3 Spin Awards.
All
Uh,
right.
yeah,
Right.
was like unbelievable because I told Pastor it's going to take me a little while, folks, to get used to me
Yep.
because they're going to. Well, first thing when I'm talking, they're going to figure is he a black boy? Is he a white boy? So I have to, it's always going to be the language barrier. But
Mhm.
but listen, I've done commercials for the big quartet shows. And big praise out to quartet. I
Mhm.
can do for quartet music, nothing else. When nobody else fed me, I wanted to go out there.
Mhm.
Quartet music fed me,
Come on. Mhm.
and I'm not saying it lightly.
Mhm.
Here in the city, I've been fortunate to MC the top quartet shows that come to New York City.
Awesome.
Met all of the A-list artists. Lee Williams, when he came, I've MC'd at least 7 concerts with Lee Williams alone.
Mm.
When he sees me, he says, "You're the man with a funny sounding voice." So, and he says, and then I said, and I call him the Iceman. When he comes, I introduce him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand on your feet right now and make some noise for the Iceman cometh. The
Yeah.
Iceman cometh. And people just be screaming because the Iceman is Jerry Butler per se, but
Uh-huh.
that's the Iceman really. But because he doesn't move, I call him the Iceman. And he said I was the only person.
Mm.
When he asks the promoters when he's come to New York, the first thing he asks is Daulton Anderson going to MC my show? Is going to MC it. One time I didn't MC his show, and he
Mm.
make a request to the MC if I would bring him on.
Wow. That's all right.
So I would say now, so in my formats, quartet music is part of my format, especially here in New York, but also at Heaven's Joy. And I'm fortunate I have Pastor John Tillery out there in Virginia. We got a Spin Award for that show. I got a Spin Award for best afternoon show. I
Okay.
was shocked because I've only started there in February. I
Mm.
Wow. And so you never know.
That's right.
You know. So with that being said, and Pastor John Tillery told me that quartet is big out there, out in the Virginia area. So
Mhm.
when you hear things, you cannot ignore it. So you have to make that part of your pro. See, in New York, I'm able to look at certain things. We have certain indicators that we can look at and
Mhm.
tell what kind of music, because I have the system.
Mhm.
Dealing once you go out of your realm. I cannot. I'm not. I don't want to be ignorant and just play anything
Mhm.
because we syndicate it. No, no, because people want. I always tell people want to feel like they belong to something.
That's right.
I
That's right.
don't do name dropping. I don't do name. Oh, I know CC Winans, or I know. I don't do that because then it tries to make it as if I'm aloof of you.
Mhm.
I would rather, if I get to know your town or know you, I would say no. I would say I know Deloris is listening, and I would give maybe a town or state that I make it personal
Yeah.
because again, for a lot of people, maybe this is the only connection of any kind of connection.
That's right.
I could give backstories about people listening, which I won't. All I know is that as a radio announcer, you have a responsibility. You have
Mhm.
a responsibility to do your job and to be careful in how you do your job. But more job to be not to feel a way that you have arrived.
Mhm. That's right.
I'm gonna tell you, all awards in the world means nothing to me. I have in my living room. Yeah, it's nice acknowledgement.
That's right. Mhm.
It's great acknowledgement. That people actually believe in your ministry, but at the same time, at the end of the day, the old adage is only what you do.
Mhm. That's right.
So at the end of the, when I'm doing these programs, who am I trying to reach? Who am
Mm-hmm.
I trying to reach? What are you trying to say? And sad, some songs I cannot use.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some songs, it's it's not in my programming. And
Yeah.
believe me, Dolores,
Mm.
I get music like I've never. Everybody wants to be especially since I won the Spin Award. I'm still looking at Heaven's Joy. I just check now. Every time I'm looking at, I've got like 57 people that want to be my friend, and Power of the Praises and like another 40 plus that
Yeah.
want to be with me. Now,
Mm.
my thing is, you're not going to be my friend just to send me an MP3.
Right.
I'm going to check your ministry out first.
That part.
Then I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to ask you, yeah, send me an MP3, or send me a one sheet.
Mm-hmm.
You always tell me, Dolores, is what is a one sheet?
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them, and I'm very nice. I send them examples, and I say to them, the one sheet basically is your calling card. You
Mm-hmm.
know, in a day of people not reading, I said, I like to read. I
Mm-hmm.
still read. That's what we're so trained to do.
Yeah.
We're supposedly trained to read.
Mm-hmm.
I do commercials here in New York. My voice is still heard on national radio here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very fortunate because I'm here in New York.
Right.
And I like to read because, Dolores, I find out the one sheet is going to give me a story as to why you're doing what you're doing.
That's right.
Now, this may not be great.
Mm-hmm.
The production is slightly poor. I can do a lot of things. I can kind of do a lot of things to your song. Most announcers will never do, which I do. And I mean, the story, I'm listening to your story,
That's
and
right.
then I'm listening to your song. Now it takes time. I can tell you, Noah, I do have a job. I do have a job, and I was running home today because I did not want to miss the interview today, and so I'm gonna have to get there a little early tomorrow. I do a lot of legal work. I help a lot of people with legal situations.
Okay.
Just life situations in its sense. I'm like the kind of the go-to guy to do a lot of little things that most likely you really cannot afford to pay a real person to do, or a
Mm.
real qualified person to
Right.
do. So if I can't do something, or if I can't do it, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, so I'm being afforded to do a lot of things financially out of my own pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect anything back. And people say, oh, you shouldn't say that, this and that. No, I say it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say it for something to happen. I say it because I say it because that's just how it's always been for me.
Yeah.
But with the story, it's important to me. And I want to give you just one. I could give you several, but I have to give this one story.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Kimberly Jackson,
Okay.
and independent artist. One song.
Mm-hmm.
Got a hold of the song. I was listening to it. The name of the song is called Higher. And I'm listening to this. This one I just first started out last year. But no. This is my second. I don't know what 23. So 21.
Mm-hmm.
2021. I received it November.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been on the air. I just started out with Pastor Cedric Barner at Heaven's Joy, and I received the single, and I'm listening to it. It's called Higher. I said, yeah, it's all right. You know what? It didn't hit me off right away.
Mm-hmm.
I just started with Cedric. I was getting all these independent artists, and I had to get myself kind of acclimated back to independent and not A-list.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was, so I asked for the one sheet, and she didn't have a one sheet.
Mm-hmm.
What I did, I sent her information how to prepare one.
Mm-hmm.
Sent me the one sheet, and I started to read the story. And I know there was another story in there which I'm not going to go into, with respect to privacy. But she gave me the face story, and was up. I really want to go any further.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it took her 11 years to get to wherever she was for 11 years.
Yeah.
it took it to that one moment that day that I'm going to record a song. I'm sure there was a personal life and things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to get into all of that. I can, you know, I'm a grown man. I can kind of figure out a lot of things. I've been in the industry a long time. I can kind of figure out things.
Yeah.
But for somebody to say that they had enough courage, and it took them 11 years to record one song. So I said, okay, now the song is started to, all of a sudden I started to take on the feelings of, I started to really listen to, and I said, I'm going to support her. I'm going to support her because maybe I'm the only hope.
That's right.
Not to say, and I'm nobody, believe you me, I'm nobody. I said, maybe I'm the only hope. Well, I put it on my Facebook page, you know, family member, Kimberly Jackson, we're airing her single. And then see on my page, I put down the time and day when you're going to hear your song.
Okay.
Because for some people, maybe I'm the only person that's going to play your song. And if you have people invested in you, maybe mommy and daddy, sister and brother, some friends, I want them to know you made it.
That's right. That's
right.
right.
I don't care about anybody else's show. I'm just talking about Daulton. Because I can take you, I can do a lot of things if I wanted, if I want to. I can push coattails and stuff like that if I have to. If I have to. And I'll do it, and you'll never know, Deloris. Get that phone call. How did they find out about me?
Yeah.
What? I got invitation. Really? I got consent. Really? I'm nominated? Wait, who sent my name in? That. Because what I realized, I want to encourage you in your ministry. And, you know, see, if people pay for all of that. You're not. My glory is just like I want to sit in the audience and to myself say, see what's going on up there.
That's right.
That's my glory.
That's right. That's right.
Sitting here and look at somebody else, and I don't know who that is, and I have no idea what the ministry. But here you're affecting somebody's life,
that's
and
right.
I took it up, and she was on Facebook. She heard a song for the first time on radio.
Wow.
She could hardly drive the car because of the tears. She could hardly drive her car. I think she may have pulled over because it was just too much.
Wow.
2 years. So I told her that I use it as my mantra for every independent artist, not to ignore them, but to really come out and to listen. And to give because of that, and believe me, that young lady took that song across the country and even to the islands and even to the world. One song.
Wow.
One song. One song. I mean, that girl, I have to give it to her. She I call it the gospel grind. Anywhere that I can find a spot to sing my ministry, I'm going to sing my one song.
That's right.
And for that, you should not support radio announcer, program. See, that's what I learned being with Vinnie Brown, artistry and music. Are you worried about the hit for today, Daulton, or the song that can last for you? Every time you put it on, it's going to mean something.
That's right. That's right.
Because today, gospel programmers, we get into the habit of only hearing hit singles. We shouldn't be on the air. I'm telling you, we shouldn't. Because now we're taking up secular world dealings. We're dealing with, all of a sudden now we take on what the secular world is offering. We can't do that. They have to come out of the gate with at least what, $350,000 released within the first week of their singles to say that they have a hit. We'll get what, 25,000 maybe, 10,000, maybe 1,000, and we feel that we are successful. You know what I mean? You see the comparison, and now we want to talk about artists having hit singles. Come on here. This is not Hez or Ricky or any of those, Tamla or those guys. They have major labels behind them.
Yeah.
We have problems with the charts now. The charts are huge.
Yeah.
We don't own the charts no more. It's owned by Infinity Broadcasting Company.
Wow.
Infinity Broadcasting Company has what, 1,200, 1,400 radio stations, including country, Spanish stations, gospel stations, jazz stations. They control the charts because they told them we could do this because we are playing the music. It's It's now, instead of us writing charts like we used to do, now they have people meter readers. People have meetings. Because what they're saying now and what they are saying now, we have these A-list artists who are singing, you know what? We can put this person in a commercial. You can get a tip of that person 30-second song. The label is going to make the money. The artist is able to write the contract concerning how they're getting paid. The label is saying, listen, look, we're going to give you X amount of dollars, but then you don't have control of your product. So all of a sudden you see, you might hear the music in a soap commercial, vitamin commercial, bicycle, car commercial. To the label, because they've changed everything. Infinity is a holding company. They don't care who you are. What they're concerned about is making sure that their shareholders are being paid.
Wow.
So that's what's going on now. So now, as us, independent stations, terrestrial stations, yes, we're reporting. We're still sending in our reports, etc. Except we're not considered on the radar, but we're there. Now they call it meter based.
Okay.
We are, in New York, the stations that I'm on, we are meter based.
Okay.
So I always telling people, if I'm adding you to my New York rotation, I'm going to do that. But not every independent artist I can put there, because this is still New York. My core audience. So I cannot transition. I just cannot. You got to understand your market that you're in. And so when people start to, there's a lot of logistics. I don't want to go into the technical aspect, but I'm in New York. I'm fortunate that I have two other outlets that's in the Midwest and down south that I can transition to you and give you the same type of quality program that I do up here. It's just have a different call letter on it. That's all. And let these artists understand about the business. And on my Facebook page, I give out all information free. How to prepare a CD, how it's supposed to produce, how to present yourself, how to send out your product. I even given them information on all of the radio stations. Gospel music.
Awesome.
And also the breakdown of categories.
Okay.
It's no good selling your rap song to a traditional gospel station.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Rap. I call it's holy hip hop. It's very big. It's a big. I don't care what anybody says. It's the quality may not be there, and sometimes the lyrical content may be poor, but it's very, very big. And I'm not going to turn my nose up on it. I'm not going to turn my head around. I'm not going to ignore it. On my going to hear it. Now, I'm not going to play everything.
Right.
You still got to be strong lyrically. You still got to have music got to be produced. This is New York. I'm using. This is what I'm looking at. New York first, up here. And then we'll start to come down a little bit and see where you match for me to feel that I can program you. Lyrically would be great, but musically, your music is poor.
Yeah.
I'm not one. No, I'm not doing that. It's not fair because mommy's already screaming. What is that? What is that? Is he playing? What is he playing? But then the children who are listening say, Mommy, we love that. And sometimes those mothers will come back to me. They'll send me an instant message saying, Mr. Anderson, for the first time, my son or my daughter, whatever, we're actually having a conversation about what I love, gospel, because you played a rap song. You don't know.
That's right. I love it. I love it. I love that you have a standard. I love how God has used you throughout the years to be where you are. And I love that you have character, integrity, and heart in what you do. I love it. Awesome. So if somebody is interested in connecting with you, how can they connect with you?
Well, just the email. I mean, I have the website and things like that. Listen, look, the email is Daulton, DAULTON 935@gmail.com. Again, it's Daulton, DAULTON 935.com, gmail.com. I mean, you can find me on I have my Heaven's Joy a Facebook page. I have a Power to Praise Facebook page. Most likely people connect me. They find me on my New York page. And what I do, I send them a message and I transition them to the other pages. And in turn, I try to help them, because at the end of the day, we have to help.
I love it.
No money. Deloris, no money. Not anything.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I don't care what you have. I don't care. I see them. They have some of them have better cars than what I got. Yes, they put it right there. I saw Christmas. Some people posted some nice cars. I was like, Daulton, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, I said, listen, look, I'm happy with what God has given me.
That's right.
You know, I don't worry about what you have.
That's right. That's
what
right.
I do worry about is what type of ministry you're trying to display. You know, I will tell anybody, please be careful what you put on your Facebook page.
Yes.
Not everything that goes on, you know, you should put it on there. And if you got a family issue, don't put it on the Facebook page. Don't do that. You know, that's the negative. Can't do that. And then you say, well, you know, I'm going to minister, you know, this Saturday. Can't be one or the other. Got to be careful what you're posting. And Twitter, it's like, let's you know, careful this TikTok situation. Be careful, you know, because I'm on all those platforms. I spend doing this. I spend more than, and I should, because that's why even now when I leave here now, when I and be reading until late into the night, but that's okay. But I watch all the social platforms, and you know what, Deloris, if some people instant send me a message and tell me to look out for this or look out for that. It's almost if I have watchdogs out there that don't want me to get trapped. They send me. They would tell on somebody. They would tell on some. You know, I have to smile. You know, but listen. You know, you put yourself out there. You know, you have to take it. You know, I'm out there.
That's right. That's right. Awesome. Well, can you end with some encouraging words?
Yes. This ministry that we are in, it's not a great ministry. And I say it this way to you. When you receive the calling, it wasn't a megaphone. It wasn't on a loudspeaker. Sometimes God just whispered in your ear and said, listen, follow me. I want to make you fishers of men. And by following making fishers of men, I want you to minister in your gift, and that's usually in a song, because souls are going to be saved, because there are areas that you're going to go into that maybe I can't go in. Maybe I can't go into the prisons, or can't go into the hood, or I can't go into a drug house. But I want you, ma'am, you, sir, to minister for me. So I will say, when you get the calling, don't go in the megaphone and say God called you, because because when you say that, the devil will hear the call as well, and the devil will do anything he possibly can to discourage you. Your company will break down, relationships will break down. You'll lose money. Somebody will take advantage of you. Someone will cuss you out. Somebody may even lock you out. But you understand that once God has given you that gift, under no circumstance you let anybody get in your way of ministry. If it's nothing else but singing in your kitchen, then sing in your kitchen. That's what I say to anybody. So always be encouraged, and let nobody feel that they have a right to take your gift away from you.
Amen and amen. This is my guest, Mr. Daulton Anderson. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for all of your insight and your information. I am Deloris Williams with Divine Connections. Make sure you stay connected to the #1 divine connector, which is Jesus Christ. Hold tight.
Hey, we've got exciting news from Divine Connections Marketing Services. Now you can create your own custom video commercial for your business or organization. It's time for you to win. Your product or service is someone's solution. So get the attention of your potential customers now. Choose from a 30 or 60-second commercial today. Just email us at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com and we can get started. Connect today and let's get started making your custom video commercial now. Divine Connections magazine. Get major exposure for your business. Is someone looking for your service? Do you need networking? Are you a gospel artist or a ministry? Do you have a major event that you want to promote? Divine Connections magazine has the solution for you. We can distribute to residents, businesses, churches, and online. Don't miss this opportunity to expand your marketing locally and around the world. Find out more about us at divineconnectionsmagazine.com. Get your spot in the next issue of Divine Connections magazine by emailing us for details at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com.
Make sure to like us on Facebook at Divine Connections Marketing. Follow us on Instagram at Divine Connections.
Let's get it started now.